Hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Oh. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. That's working. That working. Discord window should be open.
Evening.
Evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good, good. No ZRL then?
Nope.
What
I
do you
think I'm
think?
too low.
You're too
Too
low?
low C.
Ah.
C. Yeah.
What do you think for strategy? 30 seconds, 1
Today-
minute?
I like 30 seconds, but what is this? Is this a test? What you've been doing for ladder?
Well,
Um,
it's a test in that it's up and running and people are riding it, but it's still not 100%. But anyone can sign
Okay.
up if they have the desire to.
Yeah, I didn't know it was up and running. Great.
We're trying to get it so that there's a few teams doing it before we announce to lots of people.
So suddenly we are in a competition today.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. And all that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I thought this was a zone 2 ride.
A 24-mile tour, apparently.
Yeah, it's quite a long one.
No,
As voted for by last week's participants, so.
It's not flat. Sure. What's the best time round, do we know?
I think we might actually be the first ones departing this week.
Okay.
So set a time for everyone else.
No pressure.
Not at all. And it's a Monday loosening of legs, even though it's Tuesday. Or not.
Jonas was suggesting 30 seconds, so we can try 30 seconds each and see how we get on.
Is that once we get down to the bottom into the jungle, not the downhill is? From the get-go.
Shall we start quite easy and then try to speed up, or?
Yeah, it's quite a long one, and we have that hill towards the end to get back up here, so.
Got 2 hills, a drag hill.
So is it enough if two over the finish line?
No, because it's 3 of us, it's all 3, third person.
Okay. Ian.
What? Listen, I just need to get out. I just need to get out the pen. Let me get out the pen.
No.
Don't spoil my day. NYC one.
You've
Yes,
gone
shoot.
Tron.
Was I not supposed to? I was going to put a disc on.
Now I have steering on,
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah,
but
me too,
I yeah, but I might not use it. So on the downhill, we try to just go through each other.
Yeah, I think so. And then we hit the gravel on the right and then go from there.
Good job I don't feel knackered already.
It's all psychological, you know that. To be fair, Gareth, could be worse. You could have been called up as a reserve for the site tonight's ZRL.
Yeah,
And frankly, no thank you.
I would have been done by now in ZRL as well.
Oh, I mean, as much as you want to, it's a fine line. Having said that, the team performed brilliantly. I just keep telling myself they're all half my age, some of them. You know,
Yeah, ZRL's just not my cup of tea at B level.
with a gaping distance between middle and top end of Cat B. And then if you add in the course and weight of rider, it's chasm.
Well, even when I've done racing score races against people who theoretically are more evenly matched, I've got dropped on every hill so far.
Yeah.
I did a TT race yesterday, and everyone who beat me was a B. It was 7B before me. And 7 or 8 C's behind me. It's all about the racing score. It maybe take a couple of months to settle in.
Swift
But it will be great.
Swift are very keen on the idea though, so it'll be interesting if they make ZRL go to racing score.
Yeah.
When it gets to 3:30, should I do 30? Are we okay as well? Or I don't know.
Whatever you think.
Let's see what happens. Actually, give it a nudge for 30. And if after about 20 minutes we all start regretting that, yeah. Right. Coming up.
Did you see on the upcoming list of events on WTRL's page, November the 14th is a Thursday, and it says world record attempt by Team Type 1 for World Diabetes Day.
Now, I think I did see that, as I casually whipped through an email.
Well, it was pointed out to me by 3 other teams this morning, and they were asking what it was. I had no idea, so I went and asked, and apparently Mikey, who was in one of the Americans in the A1Cs, had committed to doing 26 time trials on the Thursday.
That rings a bell.
But apparently now he's injured and he's not doing it, but I don't think anybody's told WTRL.
So basically we need 26 riders, one each, to do a team time trial. Over 24 hours.
I think to save face, somebody's going to have to come up with a world record idea.
That's going to take some out of planning.
Well, I suggested taking the easy route out and getting Zwift to make everyone use the Team Type 1 kit that week. And then we can claim it's a world record number of riders riding for Type 1.
Fair idea, particularly it's in WTRL. Win-win for everybody. And to be fair, Steve of WTR has always been very supportive from day one towards the team in the very early days.
Yeah, one of the guys was from Team Type 1, wasn't he? The original guys.
I think Steve, yeah. Steve, I'm going to say McMillan. I'm not even
That's it, yeah.
Is it? He was always really good in the early days with issues and problems. And WTRL was but an embryo. Is what it is now. Yeah, but I think he originally cycled with some of our team to begin with.
Yeah, I think on Zwift Power, he's still an admin for Team Type 1. And there's some of the original WTRL events were done under Team Type 1.
Yeah.
But I believe back then it stood for something like Winter Training Racing League or something.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It's definitely the fact that I've not had to email them regarding an issue tells you that over the years its growth, and obviously the fact that they could deal with the growth and make it work. And 9 times out of 10 has kept him a busybody. So I'm sure he would be open to that suggestion of yours.
I think the hand is kind of forced now that they've sort of advertised a world record attempt. I think we'd look a bit silly if we didn't do anything.
Yeah. Sorry, the entire team had a hypo.
Yeah.
Due to serious world issues and a lack of glucose.
You seem to be doing quite a while on the front here, Ian.
Edwin? In the top right hand corner, going 20 miles to go. I know this route. It's a long one.
Well, we run a poll on the website every week that anyone can vote on for what the next course is. And we try to vary them in length and climbing and things.
So restrictions are limited.
But at least people can let us know kind of organically what kind of races they're looking for.
Yeah. Everybody gets to choose, everybody finds something that works for them. Where's the finish flag at the DRL today? Is it the top of the climb?
No, the bottom of the jungle banner.
No, I mean for DRL.
Oh, for ZRL.
Is it the old Coolett Bray or is it top
It
of
is
the...
up a hill.
Is it the gravel one? Just the awful.
Didn't really look.
Better not. The fact there's a circuit of Glasgow is enough for me to switch away.
I think it's the top of the gravel one by the looks of it.
God. That would murder. That would make it should be split up by then anyway.
Depends which side it's from as well. If it's from the top, it's not so bad. If it's from the city side, that's a terrible climb.
Yeah. These the other ones shorter with just ramped flat.
Oof. Oh. Oh. I love how some people call this stretch of road flat.
This is a perfect Scottish road. Out of the way there.
Garrett,
Uh-huh.
David isn't riding much these days. Urgard.
He just moved house last Thursday into his new
Yeah, the
permanent
rumors
house.
say. Yeah, the rumors say he's going for Grand Design UK next episode.
Yeah, he didn't
Be
build it,
busy
but
for a while.
it is a fancy house.
Yeah.
He got a brand new watt bike delivered today, and
Well,
he hopes to get back on the bike. He's got COVID at the moment, but when COVID's over, he'll be back in racing again. But as you know, Jonas, COVID, it could be weeks.
yeah, Mom.
Yeah,
My strange isn't back yet. Doesn't help by getting older and older.
I have no excuse other than I just wasn't getting on the bike.
Yeah. But you've been busy too.
I think I
What's
have
your
to
wife
start
doing?
training on the Alp.
Is your wife getting better and better?
Yeah, she resumed work this week. So
Right. That's good.
yeah, I think she's back a bit early and back to doing normal work, not stage whacking, but she seems to be doing okay.
That's fine.
I can't
Is
blame
her,
COVID. So, okay.
what's that?
No, sir. Highway.
Have you both had COVID?
Nope. I managed to dodge that bullet.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, this year, taking things a bit more casually, just as Swift, not trying to obliterate myself and try and get into a reasonable pattern of sleep during the week. Just the year that's been appalling. So, try to find a better happy medium.
Yeah, for a while
Whether
there,
that there.
because my wife was injured, shall we say, she took to sleeping in my son's room. So my son was in a double bed with me, and I haven't been getting very good sleep. If I fall asleep first, he sits up watching YouTube till 2, 3 in the morning, and I have to tell him off.
And we switch Wi-Fi off at 11 p.m. Children. Yeah, I mean, you've got to get training's good, racing's good. It's all great fun, but some sort of recovery in between all that's a half decent one. What needed.
I seem to be going through some sort of transition phase because my insulin doesn't seem to be working quick enough anymore. So I'm going quite high after a meal and then low before the next meal.
Are you a pump or injections?
Yeah, I'm a pump.
I'm still on injections, just they work in inverted commas rather well. But I mean,
Same for me.
the mornings are sort of 1-to-1. But good God, when it comes to lunchtime, I think it's almost like, well, is it 7.5 units per 10 kilogram? So I take on a massive amount of insulin. We're not the world's biggest lunch by any stretch of imagination. And then that will either work or drop a wee bit or rise a wee bit. It's rather, and it's on the edge of brilliantly good or oops.
I got the same insulin pump and insulin as Örjan Jante. He only have to wait max 10 minutes before eating. I have to wait 40.
For heat?
Yeah, 40 minutes. But I have had it for a long time.
I mean,
45, 47 years.
that's like
maybe
sitting
why.
still. That's sitting still for 40 minutes before you can do anything. That's it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
Those
Especially,
days,
Do you mean you inject and then you take 40 minutes before you can eat?
yeah.
and going
See,
Gareth basis, go what Gareth was saying. I reckon if I'm in the middle of the night and fancy a unit of insulin, it'll take an hour to make it. Middle of the night. 1 unit of insulin will do nothing for about a good hour or so.
But if I move and go out and take a walk, it will be faster.
Oh yeah.
well, you see, I kind of got away with stuff for a while because even when I was on multiple injections, I would always inject after meals. But I'm on a Pedro, which is pretty fast acting. I think at the time it was probably the fastest acting. It's faster than Novo Rapid slightly. But I'm kind of stuck as well because I know my fasting insulin is okay. Because overnight I'll drop to about 5.5, but then my Dexcom sensor is just flat as a pancake at that. So
That's the. That's the trouble you have, and I'm probably about a 10-minute window, between basically most meals. Well, that's what I give myself. It seems to work quite well, but particularly after being on Zwift or just general, obviously you'll reduce your insulin for dinner, and that's as good as the world. Mine will probably drop anyway. Might involve a chocolate digestive or two. The thing is, adding a chocolate digestive or two onto reduced insulin, my God, it doesn't take too long to belt back up again.
Yeah.
From nowhere, and then you're playing the catch it before it's late, before you go to bed. Otherwise, I'm going to be up in the middle of the night. So
yeah, that's another problem I've had with Zwifting late at night is I don't like to race having had my food. So then I have food afterwards.
Yeah,
and
I've never done that.
You can end up correcting till midnight, 1 or 2. Or if you don't correct and you just fall asleep, then I'm getting woken up by alarms at 3 in the morning and have to have jelly babies and.
Yes. Problem is, it's like, for me, it's a psychological thing. You don't want to go slightly high, let alone slightly low after your dinner, whether you're drifting or not. So you have to sort of educate your brain. It's all right to take less insulin to avoid the low, and even it starts to dip a wee bit due to the reduced insulin. Just one chocolate biscuit will do enough. You start getting greedy.
Yeah.
Come back and bite you. But for the same reason as you, Gareth, you could. Late night racing was, if you got it all completely screwed up, I'd be sitting watching YouTube at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was very common to go to bed safely. And that just, that was a while, but that was a good while back. But it's just, I'm sure it's an inbuilt fear. You neither want to be low, you neither want to be high, but trying to tell yourself that it's all right to be a wee bit higher.
Well, I did that for a while and I fell into the trap of overeating. Almost
compensate.
Half deliberately erring on the side of too much insulin, knowing that, oh, well, in an hour I'll get a snack.
Yeah. That never works. Well, it does work, but you'll be snacking for about an hour.
Yeah,
and you're
well,
going this, and then eventually will kick in, and you regret eating more than you should have. But that's assuming your brain's working.
and that kind of
Okay.
lax attitude as well has led to me going from 86 kg to 91 kg, so that doesn't
I
help
think
your
that,
performance on Zwift.
I mean, I think I avoided that, but I just remember reading somewhere, weird stuff you read, that, eating correct, bad insulin dosage, you just go, it sort of really does the purpose.
Yeah,
I was
I was
Oh,
eating
don't-
before this one, so I forgot to check my level. Just did it. 3.4 going down, but I have been drinking now, so we'll see.
Just sit in the pocketbook.
I think it will go.
Excuse for rest.
That's the one thing I've found with riding with or racing on a team that isn't Type 1. I've just automatically got used to them all understanding sugars and alarms and everything, and there's a couple of times I've alarmed and I'm sort of like, oh, you might have to drop me here.
Yeah. Strange when somebody asking that at work. How many times have you dropped outdoor cycling? And about years of that, 15 years, I think twice, but I've actually thought, cross here, or I'm in a hedge. And it's like being drunk. Your legs are moving, but there's literally no feeling in them. It's like balancing a tightrope.
I always found it extremely hard to tell when I was out on the bike if I was going low, because I just couldn't feel the symptoms. I don't know if I was just so focused on being on the bike or what, but there's plenty of times I would have stopped and checked and been very low.
Well, when I started, all I had was finger pricks, back in 2012-ish, and the rest of it was just based on feeling, which probably not done me any harm, because I know that something that in inverted commas should be reasonably easy outdoors is not. It's a fair chance something's not right. But technology, I've got a Fitbit to use, and it's got a nice wee graph and nice wee numbers, and it updates every 5 minutes. And that's a game changer over the years. Just gives you a layer of security. The danger is coffee stops 45 minutes, which is great, and your blood's more often than not 8 times out of 10 will start to go down. And the biggest thing is avoid cake. Just eat carb bars, but only small amounts. Don't eat a full carb bar when you're dropping. Just eat, a third of, because otherwise, well, you know it, less insulin on board. You're going from down arrow to back up arrow.
How do you manage food for cycling then, Jonas, if you have to bolus so far ahead?
What did you say? Cycling outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I forgot to check my insulin, and then it's get too low. So I just focus on the cycling.
Uh-huh. And if you decide to have a coffee stop, do you have to Are you doing enough cycling that you wouldn't need insulin?
If I have to coffee stop,
Yeah, you know how you said you needed to take insulin 40 minutes before
Yeah.
food? Well,
yeah, but if I on the bike, I don't take insulin.
okay.
So it's fairly similar to me. I mean, there are a few occasions I'll squeeze half a unit in, and if I know where we're going and what's coming up, I usually can get away with that. But yeah, rolling a dice a wee bit doesn't always work out perfectly well.
I was thinking
Yeah.
doing this next summer. It's a race around the lake. 32 street miles is 320 kilometers.
Okay.
And the guys, maybe it's 20 guys in one team. They're talking about making 2 stops, 2 to 4 minutes. That's all. And if you're not ready, you're going to be dropped. With my diabetic, I can't go. If something happens, I get low. No one will wait.
Yeah.
I can catch another group, but the fun is gone. But there are only diabetics groups riding it too, so maybe I will join
Well,
some of them. We'll
apparently I am going to be Irish maybe before the end of the year, so I can get a passport again. So
Passport coming.
a nice
Wow.
race around a lake next summer could be possible.
Wow. Nice.
That isn't it?
Especially as I'll
Looking
technically be
forward.
a European person and I'll be able to come and go as I please.
Yeah,
Just rub that in, why don't you?
that would be nice.
That question, Gareth, about going out cycling for doing tourists. I mean, if I'm out at Sunday and I'm leaving here at 8:40 for an 8:45 meetup, I'm off at 10 to 6. I'm trying to at least jet and eat by 6:30. That means at least I've got 2 hours and obviously a wee bit less insulin on board, but enough insulin just, well, I'd say enough insulin, whatever's left, just enough to combat, the first 3/4 of an hour efforts or just getting into the stride of things. So it's sort of juggling act.
I did the is it the half pretzel round London? Takes about 6 hours one time in the summer with David, and I had my pump turned off, and we did 3 hours and then stopped for I think 20 minutes, half an hour, and I had 2 slices of toast with jam, and then got back on the bike and finished the 6 hours with no insulin taken whatsoever, just whatever I had on board at the beginning.
Good thing is though, because your liver is pushing out sugars of some sort.
But you need
rely
insulin.
on.
You also need insulin to get some energy
Yeah,
out to
breakdown.
the muscles.
Yeah,
The thing about the pump is you can give such small amounts. I'm sure. The last year, we did the 5 ferries, basically. give or take 100 miles, 5 different islands, or 5 different ferries, 4 or 5 islands. And apart from consuming a carb bar too, and a tiny bit of insulin, I think my lunch, to avoid any insulin whatsoever, was a Caesar chicken salad. Which worked brilliantly. You know, but as Jonas said, you're kind of reluctant for the insulin because it doesn't always necessarily work. But you know, if you're eating 2 or 3 carb bars over the space of a day, then you need something to break it down. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think Jonas was right that I probably should have taken something at the halfway stage, because I think I've got a ketone meter and I did check for ketones afterwards and there were some. So I obviously had crossed.
I think I checked the keto. I think I checked the ketones 20 odd years ago. I haven't done ever.
I did this ski race cross country many years ago, and after 6 hours I was completely off, and I haven't been taking insulin. I took some and it went okay again. I will never do that again. It was terrible.
Like doing a recap here.
It's scary when you're high in ketones, but the sugars won't come down no matter how much insulin you give you. I've had that a few times.
Yeah.
I just feel hellishly sick and like I'm breathing through a straw and somebody's got their hands around my throat. But I mean, that's around about 13 or 14 for me. It's just the worst feeling in the world.
They have a really good guy in Sweden. He's working in, what do I say, forskning around the diabetic. And he is helping the Swedish cross-country team. And he says, when you're diabetic, you should go with your ordinary insulin and just put in more food. Then you get the best
Okay.
power. But it's hard to do that because it's hard to eat so much food. So
yeah, and even the riders that do the tour, they have so many strange gels and things that Pogacar said one year he was coming off the bike at the end of every stage and shitting himself. I don't really think my level of Zwifting would demand that I get off the bike and shit myself every time.
In fact, I usually do that before the race to prepare.
I think you did it during a race one time in New York, Ian.
Yeah, probably. I might still be in the pen, to be fair.
That was Matt last time.
That's true.
He just, you could hear him pedaling and there was just 0 watts registering.
That started off, they went out like a bullet at a gun. Did well hanging on.
I take it your equipment's behaving itself these days.
Yeah, every so often it does something weird, and I'm not sure. I'll base that on an update. But it's been good. I mean, the dropouts are a dropout. I can deal with that. But issues which are not related to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, been few and far between, which is great.
Oh. I've been having an interesting problem that Zwift are denying. I've been hunting some badges, some of the new ones, in free ride. And a couple of times I've got to a junction and I'm steering with the Zwift plays and it's changed my turn at the junction and I've gone off track.
Therefore wasting your time.
Well, I've also discovered that Zwift has hundreds of tiny little checkpoints on the road. And if you go wrong in free ride, as long as you notice quickly, you can turn and get back on the right track without crossing a checkpoint, and you still get the badge. I was doing one power to the tower maybe, and I'd done everything, and I'd gone up that new hill and the curves and got to the top, and all I had to do was carry on to the radio tower and you finish at the top. But at the top of the new climb, where it tells you your FTP, it U-turned me and went to send me back down. But I very quickly realised U-turned. And the funny thing was, when I U-turned, it didn't want to turn me at that U-turn position again. Usually if you're on a route and you U-turn and then you U-turn again, you're back on your original route and it'll try and send you the same way.
Yeah.
But Zwift say it's not a thing.
There's one or two things like go, it's the tempest you get, and you go from Thames, and you go under the arch, and then about a mile or so from there, you've got the town. Before the town, there's a left-hand turn, then right under, again, the archway into the town.
Yeah.
And that left-hand turn, every time I get there, I will lose position in a blob. As if my rider put some brakes on or slowed down. It's been going on for years. There's a couple other places like that where it doesn't matter what happens, you do know something's going to happen. You do nothing, you maybe even put a wee bit of extra firepower through the pedals. But it's almost as though Zwift's braking you a wee bit.
Yeah.
Nobody else, just me. And it's in all circumstances. Warm up, group ride, a race. Crazy. To the point now you're thinking, I'm just losing my mind. But it's, you notice it. You really notice it.
I always feel the U-turn on the red tarmac in London. For whatever reason there, I always seem to just lose packs at the corner and drop off. And
I mean, that similar, the only solution I can do is really hit hard down on the pedals. You know, cycle out the corner, F1 style. You know, and hopefully that increases, because assuming everybody else is just going round at the watts they hit it at, then suddenly I've got to put down 50, 60, 70 more watts just to remain as you say, within what seems to be a blob that's keeping the same speed. It doesn't look like it's fed up.
I think it's a tall order to break the hour.
There. 24 mile an hour is a group ride around about 2.8 watts per litre. I'm fairly sure we're not in a group.
How's the sugar, Jonas?
I will check. 4.3.
Snap! That's exactly what I am.
Well, I started at 6.8. I'm 6.8.
Ooh, letting the team down there, Ian.
But I'll be honest, is that the perfect place to be? Well, if it's staying perfect, it's staying there, yes. But I think we'll all agree somewhere in about, surprise, 5.5 optimum on both sides of the water. There's a GCN 4 years ago had great episode, and the guy they were interviewing was ex-rider, coach, and looked after Nova Nordisk. And I suggest you go and listen to it about a year or so ago, and it's rather insightful. Because there'll be times when I'll go out on a Sunday, 60 miles, and eat nothing, because the levels are in a place that are good. You know, all you're going to do is potentially push them up rather than leave them where they are. But they're also back to that 60 miles, no food on, doesn't really make a lot of sense. And he was talking about the guys, obviously, who are out there professionally doing it. But when they came back, they noticed that the team were eating way less than any other teams who were out there over the race. And it's the way, obviously, how we break the carbs down, the glucose during the time is different, and we can hold on to it differently and better, potentially. But brilliant interview, the guys. It's worth a listen. Just obviously, we don't have a team car and the same amount of insight. We just have experience and a bit of trial and error. But I was always quite concerned that big miles, no food, made no sense. You know, just And again, if it did rise, would it come back down, or are you in Michelin to combat a disaster? Clearly the pro guys who do similar aren't eating the same as the rest of them are, but maintaining obviously good power, etc., etc.
It's always surprised me a bit that the pro team are aware that people like us are out here cycling on Zwift a lot. I'm surprised they haven't sort of tapped up some of us for data and information. You know, I know elite level's completely different, but
I would like, very much agree. I have a Wahoo, and you cannot put the BGs on the Wahoo head unit. And to be fair, I've got them on my wrist. I mean, it's neither here nor there, but the fact it's so, you can't do it, you can do it with the Garmin, blah, 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 but the Garmin interface is just about there. Absolutely god awful. And, in my opinion, and I always found it strange that they didn't, the data that they use or how they produce it from power meters or what head units they used, I don't think they weren't willing to share. It would be nice to know how they got the data. Maybe I can't get in a Wahoo, etc. They did. It's just nice to, you know, if it's just a download
yeah.
of software, you know, it's going to only be useful to type 1 diabetic, nobody else. And it wouldn't necessarily, I don't think, make a difference to their team. They're not showing power or anything, it's just something that's important for those who need to know.
I think they do record the data, but didn't I read somewhere that the UCI put limits on how often they can check during a race?
Is that the team or the rider?
I think the rider can go back to the team car and get his Libra checked with a reader, but I don't think they're allowed it on the head unit. I think it was during that fad when non-diabetics were using Libras to see where they were. So the UCI wanted to ban them, but then realised, oh well, hang on, we can't ban it for genuine diabetics.
Well, that gathered some momentum because some of the ETAPs I did, there was discussion regarding that. And you're going, well, do I have to own up to it?
Yeah.
Or do I just pay nothing and do an ETAP, which is neither get any monetary value to the winners, losers, or anything? It's just a great fun day with your mates. And if you beat your time from last year, and you're always in the top 100 every year out of thousands, you'll take that. But I don't, honestly, I wouldn't be admitted to, I've got my blood glucose. Chance.
I used to play field hockey. That was my primary sport growing up. And technically, I was retired by the time I got diabetes, but I did play 1 or 2 seasons for sort of reserve teams and things. But had I actually been playing at the National League level that I used to play at, I would have had to go down the route of therapeutic exemptions and medical tests and everything.
You should get kids at school who parents can obviously be followers of a CGM, got
Yeah,
the appropriate software. And if you're a child playing football, doesn't matter how good or bad you're diabetically, you're playing football with your mates, you're in a competition. It'd be nice to think that somebody in the sideline has got your back and you're maybe not thinking about it.
there's actually a kid in my son's class who's got type 1, and from the liability point of view, the school don't really want to know. So he does have a thing that lets his parents check in on his levels. And if they see anything, they sort of have to phone up the school and say, give him some food or give him some units of insulin. But without that parental say so, the school are not willing to do anything. They don't want to learn about it or anything. And
but surely if that child's got, see, if he got a mobile and he can check, he can see his levels himself, assuming he's allowed a mobile in the school.
Again, the school won't even let him administer it because he's what, 10 or 11, and they don't know if what he's about to do is going to kill him or not, so they stop him from doing anything.
Time wasted.
And it's really tough on the poor kid as well, because
That's
he doesn't get invited to. Well, yeah, I mean, he's always high and he's always off school because he's ill, and but he never gets invited to parties and things. The only twice he's been to a party is with my son, and you know, the parents are kind of, oh, thank you very much, because none of the other parents want to deal with it, but they also know that because I'm diabetic, I'm going to look after him and I know what I'm doing. So
but I mean, it really is, I have to say, very lazy. Is it naive? Is it, I mean, it's, you're not asking too much of somebody.
well,
Just,
you know, whenever we were diabetics and we had to go and learn to carb count and stuff like that, we got I got all of maybe 2 hours of education or something. That's not a long time to ask of a responsible person at the school to watch a video or something for 2 hours and take on the responsibility. But
well, every school's got a nurse, have they not? And some have got classroom assistants.
yeah,
You've got children with special needs,
well, that's
learning
the funny
difficulties.
thing, you know, they'll put
It's all
in
the same thing.
classroom assistants for special needs, but they won't put in a classroom assistant for diabetes.
So you're flat on the floor, quitting profusely. And that's the thing. It either creeps up on you, you feel it coming, but it hits you like a hammer from nowhere.
300 meters.
Gentlemen, helping us.
Oh,
Oh.
oh,
Oh. Aye, aye,
Yeah.
that was quite a long time trial.
It's when you realise, I think at one point, because it's almost 25 miles, you're just a fifth of it. Oh, good.
Yeah, but the time went pretty fast anyway.
Yeah.
Chatting and
Oh. Everybody has earned their dinner.
Ooh.
Reasonable area.
That's definitely the kind of course you would want to have 8 or 9 riders, I think.
yes.
Yeah. And I think in a very perfect world, 8 very well matched riders. So no matter who's making what effort over the period of time, there's as little gap as possible.
Yeah, we kind of laid that trap in that the team gets classified with whoever your biggest rider is in terms of power. So
Right.
we've kind of left it open that then you can pick anybody else you like. So if you want to have somebody who's an A-level rider go and pull 7 other guys around, you can, and see where you end up. But I think we're sort of hoping to prove that the teams with the closest match riders will do the best.
mean, if you do a chase race, the best chase race is a blob that works together because it's to some way, shape, or form, they're all slightly similar, or at least they're working to make it similar. Keep the speed up.
All the chase races now seem to have fallen over into the Swift race score, and there's lots of people unhappy about it because there's A power riders in B and C pens and things because of their racing score. So chase races are now getting blown apart.
I think I watched when it won Sunday, one you were in, and I think you're right. It just there seemed to be it came out the pen, and some people just disappeared off up the road, and then the rest of the team were chasing them. It made no sense whatsoever.
I used to enjoy chase races, but at the moment it's just a case of how long can I hold my pack?
There'll be those who wish to win and will just sit there waiting for their opportunity. The rest of you just want to get across the line as quickly as possible as a pack, work together.
Yeah.
I did one on Saturday and didn't realise that it was 2 laps of RGV instead of 1, and wouldn't really have mattered because I got dropped on the rollers just before the lap anyway. But I sprinted for the lap banner and then wondered why I still had my jersey on and I hadn't exited the event. And then I was like, oh, I'm not riding a whole other lap on my own. I'm just going to do something else.
That's the one course that if you obviously RGV, I swear once you turn right on to kind of